Okay guys, I've tried to keep this as kind of robust and as small as possible for any eventuality. This is your what I would class as your emergency kit for the car. It'll be everything for all year round basically, and then including in the winter months with the added extras. First and foremost, high visibility clothing is a must, especially at night time, but also in the cold weather. This is actually one of the waterproof bomber jackets. Waterproof, padded, stormproof collar, everything like that, so it's highly visible and extremely warm in the wet and wintry weather. Your standard first aid kit, in which, in this one actually I've added a few bit extras in, i.e. a couple of extra bandages, crepe bandages, etc. I've just added to what was already in the box. Obviously your sterile gloves, just in case, because if there's blood or anything like that, or you've got any open wounds, or there's any open wounds, you're not wanting cross-contamination for yourself or any injured victim. Probably the most important part out of the entire kit would be the multi-use, is the emergency blankets. They're just aluminium foil basically, and you get them in singles and you get them in doubles. These actually serve quite a few purposes. One, when it comes to car accidents or any injured party, or not even in car accidents but in general, if you get anybody that's suffering from shock or anything like that, keeping the body warm is one of the best ways of fighting shock. Also, it can be used as obviously a shield against rain, keep it dry, along with also, if the time ever arises and you ever come across quite a badly injured person or it's quite a bad car accident, the double ones especially can actually be opened up, and them being that big that between two people you can actually hold them up, and they can actually act as a barrier, a shield. So if there's paramedics there and obviously they're needing to do any procedures of that, if there's two people there, they can hold one of the blankets up, and it keeps obviously the injured party kind of sheltered and shielded from prying eyes and not upset anybody that way, and gives them that bit of privacy while the emergency services work. As you get into the winter months, obviously your high visibility clothing again, your first aid kit is standard. Extra clothes, I've got my works fleecy there, and I've got another warm hoodie there, plus my high visibility jacket. On that note though, I would also say when it comes to high visibility jacket, it's worth going on eBay guys and spending £2-3 and buying maybe 2 or 3 high visibility vests, because obviously if you're in an accident or anything like that, give any other members of the public, whether they're involved or witnesses or that, who could be lending assistance, help them, let them be visible, give them a high visibility jacket as well, and make them obviously visibility to other traffic. As I say, extra clothing as well. Now there's different purpose, there's multi-use here. This isn't just for yourself, you get stuck in bad weather during the winter months or anything like that, but also if you come across an injured party, as I say, same purpose as the heat shields, helps keep people warm and dry, help cover them up if you've got extra ones there. And also this is actually just a wee cheap brush out of Asda, which has seen better days. It got buckled into midway up, so what I've actually done is, it's actually perfect now at the length it is. I've just taped off the end there to protect my hand from any sharp edges. If I've ever had a crash or anything like that where there's debris, glass, metal, etc., once the area's been cleared, we can then clear up any debris. Obviously nobody's going to drive over it and then burst a tyre or anything like that, and it's quite handy, it just fits in the car with the size of it obviously. Also, and in the winter months as well, what I do in the winter months is I carry a wee metal shovel and a couple of bags. These are the extra thick poly bags I've got, and I carry a couple of bags of grit in the boot of the car, just one or two, relatively a couple of shovels in each, and it serves for, if I get stuck I can use it for putting under the car for a grip or anything like that. But also, see, it's worth actually putting maybe a couple of poly bags in your car, not just for general rubbish with your car guys, come on, but I mean in a sense with your first aid material. If you come across somebody and they've been badly burned, obviously bags like that and anything like that cover up the wounds, keep the oxygen away from the burns, etc., depending on obviously where it is in the body. But it's a matter of thinking outside the box here and using your initiative. The same way, a lot of the materials in your first aid kit, like your crepe bandages and that are a couple of metres long, irrespective of how thin they are, maybe 4.5 centimetres wide, they might be 5 metres long. Think outside the box here. That crepe bandage doesn't have to be used for necessarily dressing up a wrist or a leg. You can actually use it for, obviously, if you've got somebody that's maybe even had a head injury or complaining of neck or spinal pain, the idea would be that if you're there at an accident on your own, then use your initiative again. You could help secure that party, that injured party, and stop them causing more injury to themselves by moving. And if you've not got another person there and there could be another couple of people injured, then take that correct bandage, get the person, explain to them what you're doing, remain calm, and you can actually restrain that person's head to the headrest of the seat or that, and actually stop them causing more injury, especially if they've got a spinal injury or neck pain, and just basically immobilise them that way. Also, if you've got anything else in your car in general, I mean, I've got the car seats there as well. That car seat there is ideal if you have any injured party where you need to, if they've been sick or in the recovery position, it's instead of, if you've not got any extra clothing or that, something as simple as a car seat like that, or well, a booster seat, sorry, would be ideal for resting their head on. Irrespective if they're going to puke or it doesn't matter, it's more about their comfort because they're the injured party at the end of the day. And last and foremost, if you're in a situation where you're needing to use any of this, where there's injured parties or that, then the next and probably most important part of the entire equation is your own vehicle. Now, I say that, and the fact is, your own vehicle then becomes a barrier of safety for injured parties and other road users, and help sterilise any accident scene. And obviously I'll demonstrate that just now with your standard hazards and then what I've got fitted in the car with my lights, and show you the difference how using your car as a barrier between any accident or injured party can identify, can alert other road users that there's a problem, but at the same time increases the visibility of the scene and increase general overall safety. And I'll demonstrate just now, just give us a minute. Right, there's what it looks like, guys, just your standard hazard zone, any car. Now I'm standing, what, 15 metres? I'm about 3/4 of the way between the two lampposts here between me, the lamppost behind us. Now that's just the standard hazard lights on your car, and I'll show you with my actual lights fitted to the car what happens next. Now there's my rear flashers, the rear LEDs with the wide angle diffuser lenses or whatever you want to call them. Obviously quite bright, and I've got them on the alternating sync flash. If I zoom it in there and get it to focus just a wee tad better, if it wants to focus but it doesn't want to, I'll hit go in the manual. There you go, guys. Right, now as I say, I'm still at the same distance away, but that's the rear back of my car. Now again, as I say, we're at night time, the camera doesn't do this footage justice in terms of the brightness of these lights. And again, the guys, I'm probably about Christ, I don't know, 100 odd degree to the right hand side of the vehicle, and that's, as again, the camera doesn't do it justice. Okay guys, now we're a lot closer up. We're only about, well, there's the safety gear I had to line the flare, and there's my lights, so it gives you an idea. I'm only about 2 metres away from the vehicle now. That gives you an idea of the brightness, but I can't get it to focus just right so you can see the LEDs a lot clearer. Oh, I nearly had it there. But it gives you an idea of how brighter my car is now with these LEDs on it. Right, now that's the back. Right, well, that's the back of the car, guys, with the hazard zone, right, which increases my visibility greatly. Now, well, days I'll just do a quick walk around in my car and give you an idea how bright my car is now at night time, should the occasion ever arise, which it has done a few times before where the lights have been necessary to use. And then for the front now, now see, we thought the lights looked a lot duller when we first fitted the two new sets at the front, but actually with the camera it looks like 10 times better and 10 times brighter than my phone did. But there you go, guys. So that's my full setup and walking into the car, because at the end of the day you've got to think about if you ever turn up at an incident or anything like that, or an accident, then the thing is that it's not just about what you carry in the car in terms of kits, in terms of just bear with us a minute, guys, and I'll get this camera sorted. I'll put everything off. It's not just about what you carry in the car, it's not just about kits, first aid kits, or any training you've got. At the end of the day, what actually comes into place as well, though, and is a big factor, and what is important as well, is actually your vehicle. Your vehicle is one of your first port of calls and one of your biggest assets that you have got when out on the road, and it's no necessarily, and it can be overlooked, because at the end of the day, your vehicle, and if you look at the police procedures, when they stop behind a vehicle, they usually stop, whether it's somebody broken down or anything like that, they'll stop and park behind the vehicle and park slightly angled. Now that is for their safety along with everybody else's safety. If you turn up at any sort of incident or come across anything on the road and you could be the first one on the scene and you've got to deal with everything, remain calm, think of everything that I'm saying in this video, and think of everything you might learn in terms of if you've took first aid or anything like that. But remember, first and foremost, like you've seen my other video helping your fellow drivers, in particular the young laddie at night time who they ran out of petrol just a couple of weeks ago, and he's wee Renault Clio. I parked quite close to him to start with today, because obviously I didn't know what was going on, but I knew there was somebody in the vehicle, and then obviously quickly speaking to the driver, found out he had done and run out of petrol. Simple as it was, just a simple case of that, and he had his girlfriend on the way with a can of petrol for him. And then you see me in the video, I'll reverse back slightly and I park my car slightly at an angle. Now my vehicle then is then creating a barrier between that boy getting out of his car and his girlfriend pulling up as well, and that's covered in name. Now a lot of folk might think I'm daft that way, but at the same time I would rather that, because I'm the kind of guy that I will stop and I'll help anybody that's stuck on the side of the road if I see them, without any hesitation that way. But at the same time I want to do it as safely as possible. Now I've showed you the kit at the back of the car there, your first aid gear, your high visibility clothing, your emergency blankets, carrying extra clothing, and just using your general initiative with anything you could hear in the car or that anybody else, if there should be anybody there, use your initiative, and you can use any materials you can that could end up either rendering aid to somebody or making safe that scene, or just simply giving somebody a bit of comfort. But the most important thing is always remain calm in these situations, especially if there's injured parties, because if anybody's in shock or anything like that, if you're calm and dealing with the situation calmly, then that will overall help the situation and help an injured party by helping relax them just that slightly a wee bit more as well. And there's no point in panicking. But then it brings me back to my point that your own vehicle is there again. That is one of your biggest assets, because then that is used as a barrier. So if anybody's going to hit anything or come into that area, you've created a sterile environment as much as you can, irrespective if you've got cones out, if you carry that in your car, high vis flashes on your car or anything like that. The fact is you've then created a barrier between you and any injured party or any incident, and your vehicle then is alerting drivers approaching that area to be wary. There's a hazard in front, there's a crash, there's anything like that. And that is one of their first and biggest assets, is alerting other drivers and making that scene as sterile as possible and a safer place to work in. And at the same time, it then creates a safe environment for emergency services to turn up, park up, simply grab their gear and deal and leave it to the professionals that way, because you've already done all the work for them getting there if you happen to be first on the scene or happen to have witnessed it. And then it's just a matter of dealing with the formalities, i.e. Statements, etc. But that kit there is a simple enough kit in terms of that's what I carry in my car all year round. Your blankets, your first aid, high vis gear, that's basically everything you need for any eventuality that way, unless obviously you're a trained paramedic and you've got extra gear in the car. But for any road user and any general person out on the road, I've tried to keep it as simple as possible, where anybody can carry that in their car without taking up too much room or taking up too much space. And it's no 1,001 things to try and list off. First aid kit, high visibility gear, extra clothing, a couple of emergency blankets, and then for the winter months, again, shovel and a couple of bags of grit or dirt or something, just to give you grip if you ever get stuck. But and as I say, use your initiative and use what you've got in the vehicle, because not everybody's got the lights stuck to their car, not everybody's got the high visibility clothing, and nobody carries everything in their car. Captain, I've just got it fitted that way because that's what I've went and done. But hopefully you found this video informative again, guys, and I'll get a couple more up for you again soon, and hopefully you should find this useful again. Right, stay safe, guys. I'll see you next time.